It's pretty amazing what AI can do these days, right? It can write poetry, compose entire symphonies, create art that'll blow your mind. But what happens when you ask one of these super smart AIs to do something, well, kind of boring, like a simple task in a spreadsheet? Well, that's where things get really interesting, and maybe a little weird.
So let's get right into it. Why can an AI write a beautiful poem but then totally mess up a simple question about a table? It's a huge paradox, isn't it? To really figure this out, we've got to look at a real example. See what happens when an AI tries to answer a totally straightforward question from some basic data.
Okay, check this out. The question couldn't be simpler. How many games did the team score over 20 points? And at first, the AI nails it. It finds the right 4 games, perfect. But then, instead of just stopping and giving the answer, it just keeps going. It gets lost, starts looking at other data, and somehow comes up with the completely wrong answer of 7. This right here, this is the exact problem we're going to dig into.
All right, so here's what we've got on tap. First, we'll talk about why AIs have this spreadsheet struggle. Then we'll get into something called reasoning drift. It's like the AI doesn't have a compass. After that, we'll introduce a really smart solution called RETAB. We'll break down how it works, look at the pretty impressive results, and wrap up with why this all matters.
So that little mistake we just saw, that wasn't a one-off glitch. Nope, it actually points to a much bigger, more fundamental problem AIs have with structured data. Like spreadsheets. See, when an AI tries to reason its way through a table, it takes a bunch of steps. The big issue is it has no clue if any of those steps are actually getting it closer to the right answer.
And what's really wild is that different kinds of AI get lost in totally different ways. On the left, that's the one we saw before, the standard agent that ends up overcounting. But on the right, that's a visual AI. It tries to look at the table, and it undercounts because it just misses a row entirely. So without some kind of guide, they both end up failing.
The folks who researched this really hit the nail on the head. They said that without explicit feedback at every single step, the AI is pretty much just guessing. And you know what happens when you guess. One little mistake at the beginning can just snowball, and before you know it, the AI is way off track. The errors just pile up.
And this leads us to the heart of the problem, a concept the researchers call reasoning drift. So what's actually going on inside the AI? Well, imagine you're trying to find your way through a maze, but you're blindfolded. You take a step, but you have absolutely no idea if that step got you closer to the finish line or if you just walked straight into a wall. That's what the AI is doing.
So basically, every single time the AI does something, like say it filters a row or adds a new column, it doesn't get that hot or cold signal we'd get. It has no internal compass telling it, hey, that was a good move, or whoa, bad idea, you're just making a mess now. It's just flying blind.
Okay, so how do we fix this? Well, a team of researchers came up with a really clever new framework to do exactly that. It's called RETAB, and it's all about giving that blindfolded AI the guide, the compass that it's missing. RETAB. That stands for Reward Enhanced Tabular Agent. Now, the really cool part here is that it's training-free. This isn't some brand new AI you have to build from scratch. Nope, it's more like a smart plug-and-play upgrade you can add to an AI that already exists. And what it does is give the AI constant feedback, a little reward score at every single step. And the real secret sauce here, the magic behind RETAB, is this special scoring system they built called Tab Rouge. Now, this isn't just a simple good job or try again. It's way more sophisticated. A scoring system designed specifically for working with data tables. So, how does Tab Rouge score each step? It's pretty smart. It asks 3 key questions. First, does the table still have all the important info from the original question? That's lexical coverage. Second, is the table nice and clean, or is it full of useless junk? That's precision. And third, is the table structure still solid, or did the AI mess it up? By checking these 3 things, it helps the AI get the table into a just right state to find the answer.
Okay, so we've got this awesome scoring system, but how does RETAB actually use it to steer the AI in the right direction? Well, it does it with this really neat 2-step process. It's kind of like how you or I might do a task and then double-check our work.
First up is what they call state transition. After every single move the AI makes, it gets the Tab Rouge score instantly, so it knows right away if that was a good step or a bad one. Then there's the second part, simulative reasoning. This is where the AI kind of imagines different ways to get to the answer. It thinks about multiple paths, and RETAB helps it choose the one that got the highest scores all the way through.
And this is the perfect illustration of the before picture, right? Without RETAB, the AI is just fumbling around in the dark. It might make a few good moves, but then, with no feedback, it takes one wrong turn and just keeps on going down that wrong path until inevitably it ends up with the wrong answer.
But now, look at the after. With Retab, it's a whole different ballgame. The AI makes a move that isn't great, and bam, it gets instant feedback. Less reward. That was not a good action. It's like a little course correction, nudging the AI back onto the right track and guiding it all the way to the correct answer. So that all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work? Let's take a look at the results because the difference this thing makes is, well, it's pretty staggering.
Get this. Just by plugging Retab into the AIs they already had, the researchers saw accuracy go up by as much as 41.77%. I mean, that is a huge jump. It takes a system that's often wrong and makes it super reliable.
And that's not all. There's another massive bonus. Because the AI isn't wasting all its energy going down those dead-end paths anymore, it finds the answer way more efficiently. We're talking about a nearly 25% drop in how much it costs to run these calculations. So it's not just more accurate, it's cheaper too.
This chart really drives the point home. Look at the other agents on the left. Their accuracy is somewhere between 46 and 53%. That's basically a coin flip, right? But then look at the agent with RTab. It shoots all the way up to over 76% accuracy. It's truly a night and day difference.
So why does this matter?
Well, this whole thing is about way more than just fixing spreadsheet mistakes. This gets to the very heart of one of the biggest challenges in AI right now, making it reliable. I mean, think about it. Pretty much every major field runs on data in tables. We're talking finance, with all their reports, healthcare, with patient records, marketing, with sales data. The list goes on and on. So having an AI that can actually reason through that data reliably without making these silly mistakes is absolutely crucial if we want to trust the decisions we make based on it.
And really, that's the whole point, isn't it? It's not just about making AI smarter. It's about making it dependable. By giving AI a way to check its own work, to give it that internal compass we've been talking about, we're taking a giant leap towards AI that isn't just powerful, but AI we can actually trust.
Which of course leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. If we can teach an AI to check its own work with data, what's the next human-like skill it's going to master? It's like we've given it a little piece of self-awareness for its own reasoning. So what comes next? The possibilities are pretty exciting to think about.